Hey, hey, so good to see you all. So happy to be here this morning. Namaste today, which is a good one today. And feeling really, really good. Had a really beautiful overnight meditation with some beautiful people. And it was incredible to see people journey and see people process, to heal. And I always feel really honored when people implore a great level of trust and they allow me to help be a part of their journey and to guide them and support them in it. It's really, really amazing. And so I'm just really grateful to be here today. My body feels a little bit tired, but my mind and my heart feel so good. And so I'm really happy to be here to do this meditation with you today. I titled our topic for the day, Love and Dark. And it's interesting because the saying, love and light, how we send love and light all the time is so popular and kind and common and beautiful and good. And sometimes we forget to appreciate the darkness. Sometimes we forget to appreciate our shadow side. It's not something intended to be fearful of. Our shadow side is a very, very important part of our work, part of our growth in life. And so, for example, just as much as we need to acknowledge our light to grow it, our goodness to expand it, just as much as we need to share that light and nurture it, so too do we need to acknowledge our struggles, our challenges, where we need help, and what within us is maybe dictating unhealthy areas of our life. And so today, I thought it'd be really good to spend a little time in gratitude for both. Without our shadow side, without understanding our wounds, our pain, and the uncomfortable spaces within, we wouldn't really truly be able to appreciate the goodness, the light, and the love when we're feeling that. One of the things that I've learned on my journey, especially in healing from a lifetime of an eating disorder, is how to embrace my darkness. And what I mean by that is not that I want to perpetuate it and grow it and choose things in life that come from the root of it. Rather, to understand it, to embrace it, and to accept it, because our shadow is just as much a part of us as our light. And what we resist persists, and that means the more that I have anger and hate towards my own shadow, towards my own darkness, the more in resistance I am towards that, the more it's going to persist and grow. So simply coming to a space of accepting it. And when we say shadow work, what that means is not that you get rid of your darkness, is not that you get rid of your ego. When people say, I had ego death, the intention or understanding behind that is to integrate your shadow into your life, to understand the work of that space and learn from it and involve the healing in your life. So that might look like choosing to do something for incredibly selfish reasons. And I'm not talking about needing to take a break or whatever because you need some space for yourself and that's healthy and good. I'm talking about choosing things for reasons that are purely selfish. And instead of judging ourselves for it, actually accepting what are we really needing from making that choice. Accepting that there is a part of us that struggles. I'll use my most obvious example. When I look at my eating disorder, the first however many years of it, I hated it. I absolutely despised it. I was angry. It was this thing, this entity that I just could not get rid of. I was constantly in rejection of it, which meant this thing that was a part of me in that moment, in that time, I was constantly rejecting. And what we reject, what we push away, is just going to get bigger. there really is power in surrender. Surrender meaning there are some things outside of our control. And for the ones that are, really making choices intentionally with that. But for example, accepting at the time that that was my struggle and that was my darkness. And almost in a way, when I talk about integrating the shadow, it'd be kind of like an angry something or someone. Now, maybe somebody who's pissed off, you can't just go right up and hug them. Maybe they'll want to push you away or punch you in the face. But we certainly can show up in a loving way. And that's almost how we have to show up to our shadow side. Understand what within us is aching for something so badly. You know, why would I choose something that was so painful for me, harmful to myself? Where was I hurting? What was I really needing? And even appreciating, although that wasn't a great coping skill or coping mechanism, it's what I had. And it's what I had in the moment to be able to navigate something that was incredibly painful. And even then, I wasn't allowing myself to acknowledge how much pain I was in, because I was in denial of that darkness and that shadow, because I was unwilling to confront it and face it. It grew and it remained. And that's what I mean by integrating the shadow. I got to a point where I actually had gratitude for this something, however gnarly it was, that was helping me in some way. The intention oftentimes of our darkness is to get something for us. And by integrating our shadow, we learn that we maybe don't have to choose something from such a negative place in order to get what we need or want. Rather, we can understand our shadow and the behavior and the patterns that exist around it so that we can choose differently, so that we can choose from a space of love. And so today is a great opportunity to focus on what it looks like and what it means to integrate our shadow, to have gratitude. Because our shadow is what helps us to appreciate our light. Without that shadow, we don't really recognize the gift in the moments that are so filled with light. So, today I'm really thankful, and especially as I think of my own personal journey, and then I think of, hopefully for you in your journey, how much better are you going to feel being honest with yourself, being truthful? That creates integrity. What is your darkness? Instead of rejecting it or denying it or minimizing it, let's acknowledge it. Let's shed some light on it so that we can heal what we need to and continue to create balance in our life instead of constantly caving to this something. See, when we deny our shadow, when we deny where our pain comes from or this darkness within all of us that exists, we can't heal it or mend it or integrate it. It's going to continue ruling us in some way, shape, or form. And oftentimes that shows up as unwanted emotions for a sustained amount of times. It shows up in a lack of control for our emotions. If you're feeling angry, sad, hurt, guilty, shameful, whatever unwanted emotion for extended amounts of time, or maybe it keeps showing up in your life repeatedly in patterns, that's your shadow. Tune in and pay attention. What's really going on there? This healing, this integration is so deeply important. And unfortunately, it's one that a lot of people don't like to confront because it's very difficult for our ego to allow us to admit that we have darkness. That would mean discomfort for us, and our ego's job is to make us nice and cozy and comfortable and not have to navigate change or to be wrong. And this isn't about being right or wrong. It is about getting in alignment and in integrity within yourself. How do I know what my shadow is? Well, we have these beautiful things called experiences in life and these beautiful other things called humans that are our reflection. So those people you feel conflict with, they're your reflection. those people and things, places where you see something unwanted, where you find criticism and judgment. There it is. It just takes us being honest with ourselves and admitting and owning that it's there. And unless we're willing to do that, we can't change it. So, my sunscreen is joining us. So, today, let's take a look at that. In honesty, let's take a look at integrating that, accepting it, so that we can choose light and create balance. It only grows imbalanced, our darkness does and our shadow does, when we're unwilling to admit it. So let's bring ourselves to a comfortable space, seated and focused on breathing and finding our center today. And so as always, I sit open-handed and open-hearted, inviting you to do the same. Let's invite our breath in. Let's do a 6-second count in, breathing deeply in, diaphragmatically expanding in your belly, then expanding in your chest, and slowly letting the air out. Breathe deeply in. And exhale. Notice how you are slowing yourself down. Notice that you can be present just with this breath. Just be here and breathing. Our mind wants to create many other distractions. Let us, in our practice of breath and meditation, get good at working together with our mind. And right now, to just be present. Let's choose gratitude in this moment to be here, just breathing. So as we breathe deeply, just appreciating the present moment, giving ourselves permission to be present. So we are going to do our body scan today, beginning at the top of our head. Let's tune into that crown, our connection to Source. Are we open? Or are we focused on self? In a selfish, egotistical way? Are we frustrated? Are we holding anger or hurt? Are we holding judgment for ourselves or others? Allow us to clear that space, to breathe deeply. Move down your body. Let's release some tension in your neck and your shoulders. This is where we carry so much, so often. We gain soreness or pain, maybe because we're holding something that's not ours to hold. We're concerned, consumed, or worried about something that is not ours to determine. Maybe trying to control something that we can't, and so we tense and we hold and we gain stress and pain in our bodies. Let's breathe deeply. Relax the body. Give it permission to release. Moving down, relaxing the arms at your side. Let them relax for a minute, maybe not hold so much today. We move into your chest, connecting to your heart. As you breathe deeply in, feel the expansion of your chest and your heart. Notice if there is any restriction, Notice if there is any pain. What are you holding in? What are you trying to keep out? You can open up your heart a little more today. Allow a little more love to flow within to help heal and integrate with our shadow. Moving down the body into the stomach. How is everything working in your body? What can you do for your body? What does your body need? Are we taking good care of our bodies? Where there's discomfort, just acknowledge it. Just be aware of it. Provide the opportunity for Source to give you some insights and learning about that discomfort in your body. Move down into the hips, and as we breathe deeply, notice if we're carrying any stress or strain, tension, holding on to the past, holding on to expectations of ourselves and others that do not align with where we want to be. So we breathe deeply and release that. Is there something, that tension, that pain, that restriction is teaching us? And our legs and feet. Just notice and become aware of anything in the body. Become the observer. Seek to learn, to gain insights. Emotions are teachers, pain is a teacher. But we must ask the question of what it is teaching us. As we breathe deeply in, relaxing the body, accepting the opportunity to grow today, choosing to water our roots and care for our health, for our betterment. Let us have some gratitude for the light. What are we thankful for today? What is good in our world? What do we see within ourselves that is good? How is light, how is goodness, how is love showing up so beautifully in your world right now? Can you notice the decisions you are making around those ways that love is showing up, that is causing more of it, that is causing it to feel good? What choices are you making? How are you responsible for creating the goodness in your world? Can you notice where in your life your heart feels full? Where in your life is there no restriction, and energy and love and goodness flows rather easily and effortlessly? And can you identify why that is? How are you showing up? What is your perception? What are you projecting so beautifully and positively that it is reflecting back in a very loving and full way? Become aware of what you are doing to choose goodness and light and love in your life. Become aware of your role in co-creating what feels good. Sometimes it is easier to identify our role and responsibility in the things that feel good for us. That is okay. And with the same ease, let us observe also, where are we creating strain in our life? Where is there conflict? Where in our life are there things happening, challenges happening, pain happening, discomfort? And what is our role in that discomfort? How are we choosing to look at things that's creating this discomfort, this unwanted conflict? And can we take responsibility in the same way in order to shift that and create more light? Can we accept in honesty our role? Can we be honest about the ways in which we are observing, seeing, and choosing within that conflict? Can we accept that we are just as much a co-creator of the conflict as the others involved in our minds? In accepting responsibility for the pain or conflict that we feel between ourselves and others, then we can change our role. Only then can we choose to show up differently. Only then will we stop pointing fingers and placing blame. And then we will be able to navigate from a space of love and truth. Do not observe your darkness or your shadow in judgment. Observe it with gratitude. It is a teacher. It comes from a need inside that we are not addressing, and oftentimes expecting others to deliver for us and give us, instead of focusing on what is my role in creating that fullness. What is my role in sustaining my love? Do not look upon your shadow with judgment. Do not look upon all of the angry or frustrating, your unwanted ways in which you observe things, not upon yourself or others. Just be the observer for a moment, without judgment, without criticism. Just accept that those are simply feelings and thoughts, desiring for something deeper: love, healing, forgiveness. What is it saying? What is the need? Can we observe our selfishness, our ego, and our unwanted emotion without judgment? Simply to learn, to gain insight about what we really need, and then how we can choose a different solution in order to have it, instead of perpetuating our darkness. And so what would it feel like for a moment to just sit with the discomfort of our darkness, our selfish ways, our judgment, our criticism? Just sit for a moment in acceptance. Sit in truth. And now, how do we develop trust? We begin with honesty with ourselves. We begin trusting that our connection to ourself and source is enough and we can heal. And we begin choosing little by little that path. And we affirm our ability to grow and to expand and to heal in the midst of being aware of our darkness. Do you notice that as you embrace it or accept it, it becomes a little less impactful, a little less strong, a little less gripping? So just be honest. We are no less because of our darkness. And we can get better by knowing it. Imagine now your darkness from one side and your light from another. Maybe feeling two separate things. And I want you to imagine one on one side of you and one on the other. And slowly, only move as quickly as it feels comfortable for you, begin to bring those closer and closer together. Just be an observer as you practice integration. As you bring these closer and closer together, what begins to happen within you? What is it that you feel? Do you feel a resistance? Do you find you want to hold on to it and you don't want to integrate it? Are you getting something out of keeping it that you're not ready to get rid of or don't know how to get another way? Does fear come up? Am I afraid that if I integrate these, the darkness will overcome? As you bring these closer and closer together, breathe deeply in, allowing them to integrate as you are ready, understanding that they are both a part of desiring the same thing. And perhaps at times in our life, cause us to choose different ways of attaining that. It is all love. It is all love. What happens when you bring them together and you are aware that they are no different and that they want the same things? That the darkness seeks to be wrapped up and loved and operates from a space of pain, that the light seeks to be loved and to love and operates from a space of knowing our worth, that it is all love. Maybe have some more peace today about being able to bring your love and your darkness together, to coexist, to work together, to help you achieve what you need, what you want, to help you obtain your needs, and to help you meet others. And in integrating this, we accept and observe our choice. What do we learn, and how do we choose to project that? Breathe deeply in, deeply into your diaphragm. Expand, open up in your belly, open up in your chest. And exhale, letting it all go slowly. As you breathe deeply in, really feel into that integration. Love. It is all love. Breathe deeply in. Expand, expand, open. And exhale, letting it all go. Trust that it is love. Trust that you can move from a space of love. Trust in your connection to Source. Breathe deeply in. Expanding, opening. It is all here to teach us love. It's all here to be loved. It's all here to learn to show up as love. One more breath. Breathe deeply in. And exhale, letting it go. Whew. That was a good one. That felt really good. That felt really good to merge the two in awareness today. Did you feel peace immediately when you did that? I did. Did you feel resistance? Can you accept whatever you felt without judgment? That felt really, really good. How are you all feeling integrating that? Integrating our shadow is a topic that a lot of people don't want to address, but it's so important. It's so, so deeply important to be honest about what within us seeks selfish gain. And as soon as we can begin to see that in honesty, with very wide open eyes, then we can understand what's underneath it. What are we needing to be fed? And it's simply just us operating from a space of fear in order to get that, versus operating from a space of love. As we go through life, we're going to experience many, many things over and over again that will show up in our life in a certain way. And you can know if we're integrated when sometimes you can feel the desire to choose something from a selfish space, from a space that serves you and maybe even only you, or disregards the concern of others. But then you choose differently. That's how you know you've integrated your shadow. It doesn't mean that you may not feel those things anymore, the frustration, anger towards others. But integrating your shadow means you are absolutely, purely, unadulteratedly honest about it within yourself. And then we can pour love there. Then we can find out what we really need and how we can change the way we're going about things. So I hope you have an amazing day today. That felt so good for me. I hope it felt so good for you. I hope today is even better because you love and accept yourself even more. Even the gnarly parts. Even the gnarly parts. Because the truth is, there are no parts. There are no parts. We are whole, including our darkness and our love and our light, our pain and our joy, our victory and our suffering. All one. There is no separation. There are no parts. But the perception of parts will keep us internally divided. Remember that. The perception of parts will keep us internally divided and internally in conflict. And that is going to project into our lives in many ways. In order to truly stand in integrity, we have to be honest about our darkness and our light. And so I hope you have an amazing day doing that, thinking about wrapping yourself up and being honest with yourself and integrating these things that we feel with love, because the whole intention of it all is love. I love you so much, and I hope you know today and every day and always just how incredible you are. I hope you know your worth.